You're watching Escape Adulthood Live, your number one source for long-lasting, fast-acting, physician-approved adultitis relief.
On this show, we continue our 4-part series about having the best summer ever, and today we're sharing a 4-step process to help you replace hustle for hammock time.
Greetings and salutations! This episode is brought to you by people like Shannon Babb and James and Leah Rosenberg. Their membership in the Wonder and Whimsy Society supports us in this important work to fight adultitis. Thanks, guys.
Yes, if you'd like to annihilate the adultitis in your life, learn more about the Wonder and Whimsy Society, or just be among the first to know about our newest offerings, become an insider at escapeadulthood.com/subscribe. Happy July, everybody.
Good to see everyone here today.
Yeah, we are in July now. The 4th of July has happened. Look at everybody out
official.
there. Good to see everybody. And look at Jenna in that beautiful Southern California location.
Yeah.
That's not a backdrop, you guys.
That's real. That is real.
That is not a picture.
She had her vacation smile on from the beginning she logged on. So good to see everybody here tonight. Yeah, it's going to be a good show tonight.
I know. I don't know about you guys, but I'm a big fan of the hammock. And so this show is going to be one of my favorites. There's definitely good reminders for all of us to take some time to slow down this summer. But yeah, we got some fun things. Last night we actually kind of turned things on the what do we call it? On its ear.
Here you go. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
The kids made a bucket list. Well, we all made a bucket list based on the last couple shows, and one of those things was a pajama run. So after dinner, everybody had questions. Oh, are we going to watch something tonight? What are we doing? And him and I knew that we were going to do a pajama run, but so we're just like,
shut up, everybody! Quit asking.
We're like, we just need a little time. So we were just kind of stalling around, and then finally we kind of announced it. And they were in their pajamas, and we went to Dairy Queen, and it was awesome. And I highly recommend. Do you remember what it was called?
Mixing Bowl Mashup.
The
Is that what it's
Mixing
called?
Bowl Mashup Blizzard. Oh, Mary Beth's done it. It's like brownie batter mixed with.
Didn't they already have that as something else?
I think they
just
renamed it. I know. I honestly do, but it was super yummy. If you like brownies and cookies, that would just wonderful. So
yeah.
And then we drove around listening to the new summer playlist that Jason put together.
Yeah, we talked about it last week. I put together a summer playlist with your recommendations. So we've got 60 songs. There's over 3 hours worth of summer music. So we have that link that'll be in the show notes. It's in the Escape Adulthood League. I even went through the trouble of creating the Spotify version and the Apple Music version. So I've always done
controversial
Spotify because I assume that's what people use. We use Apple Music, and so we were listening to the Spotify on our thing last night, and I was so angry because of all the ads, because we don't subscribe to that one.
Subscribe to Apple Music.
So I'm like, this is for the birds. And so I'm like, can you make an Apple? And yes, you can. So I have both of them. Both same song. So
it turned out really good, you guys. So you will enjoy that. For
sure. Is there anything else? Oh, we got some fun news to share here.
And now a word from our sponsors.
Okay, so as you know, we are deep into pre-orders for my very first children's book, The Penguin Who Flew. The early bird offer is over. That ended on July 4th. The book comes out in September. And so later on in the show, we're going to be doing our raffle.
Yes.
Find out who the 3 winners are of Marty's early bird raffle.
Look at all these guys. We have some good chances here. So 3 winners.
Good story about all of those little pieces of paper. I'll share that later as well.
Okay.
But the other thing that happened just before we went live is we got a package delivered from the FedEx delivery person with the proofs to The Penguin Who Flew. And I have them right here. I'm not going to show
he's like
all...
He's being a little secretive, you guys.
It's not that long of a book, so I can't give you all of the details. But I can show you the cover. So here's the this way cover. So yeah, it opens up like this, obviously.
Yeah, that's the size.
That's the size.
It's still kind of hard to tell the size.
It'll obviously get cropped down a little bit, but
like compared to the Penguins book, you can kind of see.
Yeah.
Okay, so definitely bigger.
So yeah, I got the cover. The back says Marty is an ordinary penguin with an extraordinary dream. Most call it impossible, but Marty is creative and has a true believer in his corner. Does he have what it takes to overcome all odds? Artist and author Jason Kotecki combines colorful, whimsical illustrations and a heartwarming story. Well, that's really nice of them
who wrote that?
to say about a persistent penguin who reminds us that things are impossible just till they're not. So I have to go over all this with a fine-tooth comb tomorrow, but so far the colors look good, the layout looks good. Very happy.
The thing that I really enjoyed when he was thumbing through it right before the show was when he does the spreads. So there's probably, I don't know how many, like when you do
the full page?
Yeah, when
there's
he
probably
opens
3 or 4.
and it's like the whole picture is the picture instead of, back and forth. So those turned out really cool. It was neat to see that together.
It was, it's always kind of terrifying. and I guess it's more terrifying when the real books come because there's nothing you can do about it. At least now I can be like, this is not good. But luckily, I didn't even have to say that. So I have a few questions I have to ask the printer about, but it looks pretty good. So that'll be going into production. I want to thank everyone who has already pre-ordered the book.
It was a huge help.
Huge help. We got a big chunk of the funds that we need to print it are in the bag, I guess. So if you are still on the fence, please do. The pre-orders help us a lot to be able to get this book out in the world. There are still some really good bonuses for people who pre-order.
Including this adorable sticker, which I love. I just think that is...
Yeah, bunch of fun little things that are just not going... They're only for the pre-orders. So love it. Having your support. Thank you so much for making this possible. And at the end of the show, towards the end of the show, we'll be doing the drawing. 3 people are going to get this little Marty print pillow, so we'll see.
Cross your toes.
We'll see who
Rich,
wins.
That looks painful, Rich. Be careful.
You got to do that the rest of the show.
And then
life moves pretty fast. You don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it.
All right, so we've been talking about how to have the best summer ever. This is our 3rd of our 4-part series, and we've talked about bucket lists. We've talked about rules that you have to break in the summer to have a good summer. This episode, we want to talk a little bit about one of the advantages of summer. If you take advantage of it, is it can have a little bit of a slower pace. And really, that is another big key to not just summer, but to life in general. And Kim and I were kind of talking about this phenomenon quite a bit. And you made an interesting point about how much effort we put on our bodies compared to our spirit, our soul, right?
Yeah. Especially if you are scrolling any sort of social media or any sort of media. Everyone's trying to promote weight loss and. Obviously there's all sorts of Botox and all these things, for your hair,
eat
and
right,
makeup, and
sleep well. Yeah,
how
do you look?
Your bodies, right? Your bodies are definitely, and we all can appreciate the good effects of having a healthy body. That's important.
Down with healthy bodies.
No, that's not what the show's about tonight. But my point is, we obviously spend so much time, with our bodies and then our minds. Even, thank goodness, we're talking more about that in the last few in the last few decades of just being more aware of our mental health and how important that is. But not a lot of people talk about the soul. And in fact, I think it's kind of controversial, which is kind of funny to me. I told Jason this morning when we were kind of hashing through some of this, maybe it's more comfortable for people to say spirit. I don't know, maybe soul sounds too religious. It's an interesting conversation, but I will say this, that, I had the privilege of being able to be by my dad's side shortly after he passed away, and there was something missing, like his body was there. And if you've ever, been near someone you love that's no longer living, it's undeniable that something is gone.
Yeah, even at like a wake, if there's an open casket or whatever, it's like, oh yeah, that's the person I know, but
their
something's
spirit
missing.
is gone, their soul is gone. So so it's just kind of like, okay, if that's such a significant part of who we are, which how could it not be? How could it not be like everything? Because when it's gone, right? Then we need to spend a little time on that. So that's kind of what we're going to talk about tonight. And Jason had a really cool quote. Is it too soon?
Yeah, no, this is good. I love this quote. I've loved it for a long time, and I can relate to it quite a bit. From Blaise Pascal, he says, "All of humanity's problems stem from man's inability to sit quietly in a room alone." And we talk a little bit about mental health, and I think the soul side of thing is with that. When I just see there's so much angst in the world, and there's so much fear, and I think just busyness.
Yeah.
It feels like everyone is claiming to be undiagnosed ADHD, right? I think that's just our society. We just cannot sit still. And one of the things that I think Blaise Pascal was getting at is that the inability to just be quiet and sit still, then we're left with our mind. We're left with our thoughts. We're left with choices we're making in our life. We're left with the idea of life and death. And are we living a good life? Are we doing all that we can? Would we be happy if this was our last day? And those are some scary, big things to think about and ponder and consider. So it's just a lot easier to just go watch Netflix again and binge that for a while, or doom scroll on our phones, or any of these sorts of things that we just can't sit still in the quiet.
Yeah. And so that busy factor, and many of you guys know I wore my little Miss Wonder Hunter shirt today because many of you guys know my story of where the Wonder Hunt journey began, and that was in this period of very busy parenting, right? 3 kids under 5 or 5 and under, and there was just a lot of reactionary living, which I think many of us have those kind of seasons where you're in a reactionary season of life. And, that busyness that is so haunting day after day can really catch up with you. And so that's where Wonder Hunt happened for me. In fact, this picture came up on our digital frame the other day, and I'm like, that was the start of Wonder Hunt, you guys. That's the picture. Because it really is like that walk out in the woods that just kind of changed it, and it reminded me of what I was missing. And sometimes, for me, a lot that is nature. A lot of times will do that for me. It just instantly slows me down because it kind of connects to some of my slow seasons of living as a child, which is a lot of it was outside playing and swinging on my swing set and watching the clouds and laying in the grass and doing all these like very basic natural things that connect to nature. So that's what really clued me in that I was missing something. And then thank goodness we had a conversation at that time period of our marriage, and it was like, you need to get out for more walks. You need to get out there and just, kind of take that time for yourself. And that was the start of a lot of things, which is really cool to look back on. How it fed my soul, and then it led to taking pictures and finding beauty, which led more to nourishment of my soul and just healing of like who I wasn't for a long time just because of all the busy being. And I think we all need some healing. I talked a lot about that in our Hearts 101 course. But there's definitely a scary aspect to some of this, right? Because as soon as you get quiet, maybe you start to hear things that you need to work on, or you start to hear whispers of, maybe some uncomfortable thoughts. And that's
regrets.
Right.
Maybe some grief, sadness, right? Maybe
some of the things you've been so busy trying, not necessarily avoiding overtly, but sometimes life just kind of lets you avoid things. So that's part of it.
Yeah, I think. Well, that's that avoidance, the busyness. We're seeking peace, right? And so we're off looking for it in external validation, pleasure, distraction, and it's basically contributing to a lot of our unhappiness and even the conflicts that we have in our relationships and in the world. Like if you just take a moment to spend some time thinking about a situation that's maybe difficult before you go into difficult conversation with someone, rather than just, act right off the handle, fly off the handle, just, knee-jerk reactions, which of course is what social media is all day long, is like people's hot takes and my comment is going to change your mind, and it just goes back and forth and back and forth. And of course that's part of the sadness, is that the social media feeds and the algorithms are designed to get us to be getting those dopamine hits, right? And so last week we talked about being bored and the value of being bored, especially in the summertime. And I think that's part of it, is we cannot allow ourselves to be bored. That noise, that inability to sit quietly is scary. But I'm telling you, like, if you're missing that piece, if you feel like you're a little drifting, if you're unsettled, this is a big step, and it's like requires little baby steps to work up to things. But I'm reminded of that famous line, like, we are human beings, not human doings, and we need to just spend some time just being, right? So I would say one of the biggest game changers for us, and I did not even realize that really the date of this. Kim brought it up the other day. There's a couple different terms for this. So there's an author we like quite a bit named Matthew Kelly, and he has a thing called the classroom of silence. That when you allow yourself to be silent and sit there, especially if you're in the presence of God and the Holy Spirit, you will be taught. You will be given lessons and things to work on and things to do better. One of the catalysts for us was a book called Miracle Morning by Hal Elrod. And I got to tell you, I'm one of those people that was never, ever, ever, ever a morning person. I was always the person who'd stay up late by himself, working on artwork. Night owl. Yeah. Would stay up till 1, 2 in the morning or whatever. And then for whatever reason, that book, it just kind of inspired me to like give it a try, to have like morning time. So I'd get up a little bit earlier. And when did you say we did it? September? August
of 2019.
2019.
Which is great timing with 2020. We didn't even know it.
Yeah.
But
and you attribute, like, this is a game changer for us, right? Because you did it about the same time. Mm-hmm. I don't know if it was
we did it about a month apart. Yeah. I definitely think that was when we really started to get some clarity on a lot of things. Ironically, again, 6-8 months or not even before March 2020. So thank goodness we started to do that, but we would both take a whole hour, which is a big commitment in a busy household, right? A whole hour in the morning before anything else. And we each had our own practices with that, and that's evolved over the years. But I know for both of us, it involved quiet listening and just opening your heart and listening, and journaling and praying and reading and all of that kind of stuff that just kind of is exactly what we're talking about tonight. That slow down, that connection, that reconnection to your heart, and reconnecting your heart and your head back together again. And that was how many years ago is that now? We're coming up on 6 years. Mm-hmm. And so we haven't stopped. And in fact, especially if we're like in a hotel for like a speaking engagement or something like that, we get up an hour earlier. It's pitch black in the hotel, whatever, and the coolest part about this, I guess, that I've never really thought much about is our kids do it now too. So they all have their own routines like that in the morning. They're
not all an hour.
Lucy has an hour. The other two have about a half hour. But that was not something we ever made them do. So that's pretty awesome, right? That they just kind of see the importance of it. And I can honestly tell you that I can look back on my parenting before I did that and then after I've done that, and I'm like a totally different person because I've been in the classroom, I've been taught, and I'm not saying one person was bad and one person's good. It's more of just like growth and perspective and maybe clarity on who I want to be and who I show up to be. And then also time to look back on yesterday and say, that didn't go well. So again, growth, clarity, humility. Some of that happens in the quiet when you're retroactively, assessing the day before as well. So, I mean, your hour often is more than an hour.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. Like, I think about when I first started, and it felt like, oh man, this is taking forever. Like, I
have stuff to do.
I can't do it. Yeah, I got stuff to do. I got more important things to do.
Right.
And I think it's kind of interesting to think about how we started in August, which then when COVID hit, we had already had a habit established. So that was very fortuitous. And I've had prayer times and different things almost all of my adult life, but it's been this very specific practice and discipline. And I think I've done a lot of different meditation apps and different training, and there's different teachers, and they all say the same thing. It's like you just got to start with like 5 minutes, and you have to not judge yourself. Your thoughts are just like traffic, and it's like you can notice them and then you can just let them go. And it's like, I think a lot of times I know for myself, I'm expecting that I should get some insight of nirvana within 2 minutes, and then if I don't, I'm like, I got more important stuff to do today. And I'll admit, even now, I'll have the hour, but I'm stuck. I notice I'm doing busy work, if there's a way to say it. Like, so I'll read the Bible and I'll journal something, and then I'll read from this book, and then I'll do this, and it's basically I'm just like doing all this stuff, and I don't actually take time to like shut the hell up and just be quiet. And so I noticed that when I was in North Carolina. I was there for a couple days earlier this year, and I was like, okay, I've been doing a lot of journaling. I've been doing a lot of stuff, right? And I was set my timer. I'm like, I am going to sit here for an hour being quiet. That's it. And I committed to it. And the beginning was hell. But I had some of the most amazing insights that got like 30, 40, 50 minutes in. And then I went for a big long beach walk to kind of like process it all. And I was like, I got to get back to this. I got to get back to the silent part of the classroom of silence. It's not just doing worksheets and busy work in the classroom of silence.
Which is everyone's favorite part of learning.
Yeah, right. So just, again, all that to say is it's a process, and we have to be gentle with ourselves and give ourselves grace, but it's also, man, it pays such big dividends, especially in the world that we're in now. So you did 4 little steps that I think you wanted to kind of like flesh out a little bit.
Yeah, and some of these are just really natural. Like, so I took the word slow and kind of just to remember like the different parts of this to go for. But obviously the first one is stillness. So like, don't, I should say, try to find a spot where you're not going to be distracted to do other things. So I usually sit in the library. He sits in the studio. Someplace you could be still so that you're not like distracted by like, oh, I got to go check that over there. And I should go do this. And or maybe you need to put your phone somewhere else. Just set yourself up for success to be still. And
lack of movement from other people too.
Right.
And stillness of the environment.
Right. And so as still as you can hold your body, the better. And I'm saying this because I'm the person that's always like shaking my leg or like, as soon as I can get to a point where I can just be completely still, then all of a sudden the link up can start to happen. Okay. That heart and head link up. And then L for listen. And this is what we've been talking about the last few minutes, but, it's not, I think we've talked about this a lot, but like, obviously if you're quiet, you just kind of start to hear things, and I call them whispers. The whispers, and sometimes they're 2x4s because it's like, oh, duh. Like, how have I not been thinking about this? This is what I need to think about right now. But the whispers are usually the most powerful. And usually for me, they come in little words or little thought processes, and they're really random, and they usually add up to be some pretty deep insights for myself. And then O is open. So this is the part that, gets a little vulnerable, because as soon as you start hearing some of these whispers, and maybe, if God's speaking to you and your soul is starting to connect to what, where you're being drawn, you have to open up to maybe some harder things, which is tricky. And sometimes you need help eventually getting through some of that, because it's hard to navigate maybe your history or maybe some relationships without some maybe mediation or help, a therapist or whatever it is, But that openness it kind of takes itself there, because it's like you're either going to stay closed up or you're going to be open, and hopefully that openness will help you find some healing. And then finally, I think wonder is a part of all of this, because for me, oftentimes it involves, like I said, like going for a walk and just kind of opening myself to different metaphors that teach me, whether it's like different flowers in different stages of blooming, or birds that are, acting in a certain way. I find like lessons in all of that. And that's like how I find wonder. I know I would imagine your art is where you're practicing a lot of the wonder that you experience. But I think everybody has their own version of that. So wherever it is that you find that delight, that wonder, that awe that maybe connects to a child like you, that's part of, like, I think that's the cherry on top, to be honest.
Yeah.
It kind of brings it all full circle.
Yeah. Well, and I think for me, the practice of being able to do this then makes it easier to drop in at other parts of the day. So like in a summer day when we jump in the hammock, and I can sit there and I can I don't need to be thinking about a million different things right now.
Yeah.
So hopefully this is helpful. One last little tidbit I want to share for anyone who is completely overwhelmed about the idea of like, there's no way I can sit still or meditate or whatever. Like I can't, this seems like an hour seems ridiculous. Like I get it. So I heard a guy one time talk about a way to like build a habit. His name was Leo Babauta, and he said what you need to do, let's say for like if you want to do push-ups, he said just commit to something that's like stupidly dumb and easy. Like it's almost impossible to not do. So in his case, do one push-up. That's it. Just one. And like he said, the important thing is that you don't do two. You literally just do one. And you're like, well, that was dumb. Like that was easy. I could have done 7. And it's like, nope, 1. That's it. Like because and then do that again the next day. Just 1. So in this case, commit to this week. Say I'm gonna sit for 1 minute. 1 minute. That's it. And then I'm turning the timer, and then I'm gonna go on with my day. Because what you're doing is the first thing you need to do is you need to set the habit. You need to set the habit. And then the next week, you can go 2 minutes. All right? I think that's a lot of we want the instant results, and then we die out because it's impossible. We can't do an hour. It's ridiculous. So just do a minute. Do 5 minutes. If 5 minutes is easy for you, start there. And don't let yourself go beyond it. That's the key. You're not allowed to go beyond that for the first couple days or the first week. So hopefully that might be something that will get you started. But again, if you are feeling like you just can't keep up on life, like it's just too busy, I've heard I should have done a little research on this, but I'm just thinking of like someone like Mother Teresa said something to the effect of like how much time she would pray. And then, if she had too much stuff to do, she would actually then spend more time praying. Because the more, it's sort of like the Abraham Lincoln, like if I need to cut down a tree, I'll spend 90% of the time sharpening the axe, right? There's just something about taking that time that feels very counterintuitive. Like if I have a lot of stuff to do today, I cannot spend a half hour. I cannot tell you how many times I've done that. And then in that half hour or that hour, I think I don't need to do this thing today. Or I could ask someone for help and that would totally take that off my plate. Or like a different way of tackling this challenge that then made that hour job into a 20-minute job. It's amazing how that works, you guys, I swear. So sometimes the answer to the over busyness, we say we want more time, but what we really need is more silence. So hopefully that is helpful. And now it's time for a little show and tell, I think.
All right, this one's kind of a wonder hunt challenge, and it might require you, here we are talking about, like, put your phones away. You might want to get your phone out for this one. We're so confusing, you guys. Because you might want to, and I don't know about you, but my phone has a selfie category of albums that I never created, but it like allows me to see all the selfies that have been created on my phone. It might just be an iPhone thing.
I think that's a...
So anyway, we would like to see a picture of yourself that captures your spirit. And it could be a childlike, or it could be something from childhood too, which is really even more wonderful in a lot of ways to see that like inner spirit alive at a different age. But feel free to grab your phone. We're not going to think you're, distracted. And just scroll through and see if you can find a picture of yourself that kind of fits that category. I know in Wonder Hunt there was a couple selfie challenges, and they were tough for people because people are like, oh, I don't want to really show a picture. But this is kind of a unique challenge because it's like you kind of, in a lot of times these kind of pictures, it's not your normal smile or it's not your normal look because it's capturing something within you that is, the spirit that we're talking about, the soul. It's like, did a photo capture that? Because if so, it's pretty special. Well, you have a couple?
Yeah, I do. And I just, obviously we talked about the phone. If you have your phone, if you happen to have a framed photo nearby, like you can grab that too.
I mean, that's awesome.
They still make those. If you find something you're willing to share it, put a little, put your hand up and we'll have you come on. But Kim, you had one that you were the one who came up with this suggestion, and you sent me this as your photo, and I was curious about why you sent me that one. It's been a while since I've seen that picture.
So we got a chance to go to Kauai after one of Jason's speaking programs, and this was poolside. The kids were playing, splashing around. We brought popsicles out. These little flowers were like laying all over the ground, which is just so beautiful in Hawaii. So, I had just stuck one in my hair and I was eating my popsicle and grabbed this selfie. And it's just like one of those things where you're like, this is the person I kind of want to be all the time. And I don't know about you, but it's hard to be this relaxed, but it definitely fits what we're talking about tonight, where like it just captured like this inner stillness that I long for and that I strive for. Yeah. And I think this picture kind of captured that.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah. Those are good memories. Okay. So I'm going to pull up, we got Dorothy here.
Hello, sweet Dorothy.
Dorothy, if you could unmute yourself. Do you have a photo that you want to share with us?
Ooh.
Ooh, a little bit. Oh, look at that.
Oh, look at that smile.
Okay, so tell us about it.
I took my grandson to a park, and I love to swing. And I love to hold my grandkids. And it was fabulous. I can still remember that day. He was like 1.5. Aww. And we were having the best time. I was sitting in, I don't even know how big this swing was. But I thought, I'm going to sit my ass right down in this thing no matter what. I don't care how small it is, it's going to fit. and I put him on my lap and he just laughed and laughed. And it was that sense of, I love to swing back and forth. I love to go to a park and swing. But then to have a person that I love so much sitting on my lap.
That's awesome.
Let me see it again. Can you put it up again, Dorothy? Oh.
But I don't know who's got the bigger smile.
That's precious.
Yeah.
And you went right to it. So you must, is this picture something you look at, like, or is it just a moment that you remember?
Actually, I went to my photos and I only have 26,000 on Facebook.
That's not much.
Yeah.
I mean,
But it took my selfies and put them all in the folder.
Yeah.
And I scrolled down and it said selfies. I thought, perfect.
There you go.
And I thought, this one came up. It's like, oh my God, yes.
That's good.
This is so me.
I love it.
And I thought, because right now,
Yeah.
You got to go to those pictures. I mean, honestly, that's a great strategy, Dorothy, for all of us. When you're going through a time where it's harder, like go to the good moments, right? And just kind of savor those.
Yeah. I was going to say, what begs the question for me when I see that picture with her smiling, I cannot swing anymore.
No.
Like, I would have a green face. I swing with Ginny every once in a while. Like, I don't know what happens to you when I don't know, is it 40? Is it getting close to 50 now? I'm all messed up. I don't even know what it would be like if I was on a roller coaster.
You need a puke bag.
Yeah. So the fact that
delight
she's
that you can
smiling
enjoy that,
in
Dorothy.
photo
You have a
is
very
pretty awesome.
good inner balance,
Yeah, if anyone else has found a photo, feel free to pull it out and put your hand up so we can see it. Let's see. Let me pull up.
Thank you, Dorothy, for sharing
Let
that.
me get Rachel first, and then we'll get. Gotta move this.
Angela.
There we go. Good. We got some people.
Hey
All right.
guys.
Hey, Rach. How's it going?
Good. How's everybody?
Great.
I feel like we have stereo going because we have you guys on the TV too, so if I sound weird, sorry. All right, let's see.
Oh, that's a great photo.
Rachel.
Who can join me as much bigger kiddos now?
There we go.
Recreate it.
That's awesome.
But this photo, sorry, was what I consider my reclaiming joy photo. It was in 2019 after a rough patch. And I think it was the first time I they laughed that time. And we were goofing around. There's 70 other photos of us taking goofy selfies on the couch at home, and it just caught us in our essence being goofy, and it brings me so much joy and reminds me that I want to always do that. And these crazy kiddos, even though they're much bigger now, give me that joy all the time. Aren't they cute?
That's awesome.
You have it framed with a mom life frame in my room as well. So
that's awesome.
That's my
this is so weird. It almost looks like a stock photo. It's like it's so perfect of like, oh, look at these people enjoying life and having a good time. Like it seems like from a magazine.
You're the photo in the frame.
Yeah, you're the photo that they get in the frame. That's awesome.
Just bought the kids that came with it. I just said, yeah, just send me those kids.
They're perfect.
Happy all the time, right? So.
I love that one.
Thank you, Rachel. That was awesome.
Good to see you, Josie and Bennett. Yeah, thanks for sharing that.
All right, Angela. Hello, Angela. How are you? You got a photo to share with us?
I do. Let's see, where do I need to go?
Yeah, it's always the opposite.
I know.
There you go, right there.
Like,
yeah, that's perfect.
At that. So this is me at the. Oh, I can't do it. It's hard for me.
We saw
This is me at the Denver airport with my sister. I am flying. That's why my hands spread out in the middle of the Denver airport because that's what I do. We were on a plane, and they said you all have to get off because I forget something was wrong, and they had a redundant one, but the redundant one didn't work either. So we had to get off the plane. So we were waiting for a new plane to get on. So
that's awesome.
And here you were bringing joy and being joy amidst talk about adultitis
giving
fighter.
people something to talk about, right? That's what that lady.
Yes, I was definitely providing fun for other people.
That's awesome. Cool. Thanks, Angela. Appreciate it.
Thank you for sharing.
Let's go to Dave. I think you had your hand up. Is that true? Or am I just putting you on without your permission? Oh, let's get you unmuted.
We're muted there.
There we go.
There you go.
Oh, wait till you see this one. Yeah. Okay. Let's see if I can do this.
It's so tricky. Oh,
Oh.
other way.
Back it up a little bit.
There you go.
There you go. Oh, okay.
With a friend.
Who are you there with?
This guy used to work with my mom at Sealy Mattress Company. And then when my mom retired, he'd been looking for her because he wanted to talk to me because he knew I was a priest. And so we connected. How am I doing here? Oh,
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
here you go. And I just love the smile on that picture. Why won't it move?
That's all right. We got it. We see it. Yeah.
We see it good.
You got the Adultitis Fighter hat on in that one too?
I do. I do. Yeah. You know, I get a lot of compliments from that hat.
Well, that's awesome. Cool.
Yeah, that definitely captured your spirit.
Yeah,
the other
for
day.
sure.
That's a good one. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, see, and this is the real deal now, right here.
There you go.
Take a screenshot.
Yeah. All right.
Thank you for sharing.
Thank you. Let's do one more. Rich, good to see you tonight, sir. How are you? You got a photo for us?
I do. I love people going to movies and being crazy.
Okay.
And we were just in Kansas City and at a fun movie theater that had all sorts of images from classic movies. And so...
A little Shining. That's great.
Can you like zoom in on your face? I want to see your face more. Can you zoom it in the photo?
There you go. That's great.
Generally, I would prefer one that was smiling and laughing, but I just think that's sort of me as I'll step in front of something along the way and, just have...
Awesome. Fits the silliness.
Shenanigans.
And to tell you what a nerd I am, I would bet almost anything that the photo right next to the Shining photo is something from Star Wars. I can just tell by the little oval graphic things.
You are so right.
Is that right?
That as well.
Yeah, I'm a nerd. I'm it's official.
We already knew that, but thank you. Yeah.
Yes. All right.
That's
well,
great.
let us move on here. I wanted to show my photo, which was this one. This one's. Oh, look at that! That was almost
did you do that on
almost
purpose?
planned. Yeah. So it's kind of funny because I always think of this photo when I think of my childhood, like my inner child, and we were talking a couple weeks ago about the Penguin Who Flew book. And you were talking about the idea of like kind of asking like is Marty you and this and that, and I was really quick to be like, no, like I think he's kind of all of us. It's like there's some biographical parts, but when I think of this photo, like this is Marty. Like the Marty that is in the book is this kid. And I am still trying to get back to what that kid was all about, and he's still in there. I always say, like we're all the ages we've ever been, but that one gets lost every once in a while, and so that sort of like big dreamer, some might say naive, but there's just like kids just have a purity of like I just believe, like there's just I am Superman, I am like that kind of thing. For me, that is the photo that represents my
we think about
childhood
4,
spirit.
maybe? 4
Yeah, probably about 4. I'm not for sure, but
can you confirm that because you knew this person?
he probably wouldn't know the age, but yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, well, thank you guys for playing along with us on this. We're gonna get on to the next part of the show, so we're not going too late. But now is the time to bring out your pens, your pencils, your crayons, your picture pages, something to draw with and something to draw on. Let's draw. All right, so now is the part of the show where we draw something. And I'm going to be honest with you. Tonight's is pretty easy and pretty quick. But I think it is going to be fun nonetheless. So what we're going to do is we're going to start out with... you guys know what a tombstone looks like? Like the classic tombstone. Like an upside down U, basically, is what we're going to start with. Right in the middle of the paper. There you go. You're with us, back with us with a piece of paper. All right. Then what we're going to do is we're going to do like kind of close that off at the bottom, kind of with a rounded bottom. Kind of looks like a little bullet. Looks like a little ghost, maybe.
Yeah.
Different things here. Now what we're going to do is we're going to draw a line from here, and we're going to pull it all the way around, like that. Now, you know what this looks like? Makes me think of the man with the yellow hat.
Yeah. Right?
Looks like the man with the yellow hat. It is not. Okay, let's see. Let's do some little circles, little dots. If you want to do different shapes, you can. Stars. If you want to do stripes, you could do stripes. But I'm going to do little stars there. Or circles, I should say. All right, now we're going to draw another one of those little upside down U's inside the other one. But what we want to do is we're going to leave a little bit of extra room at the top, like that. All right, and then what I'm going to do is we're going to draw some waves in here. And I think everybody knows how to draw waves. That's everyone just kind of figures that out in kindergarten, don't they, somehow? It's like the universal. And
then you also know how to do clouds because it kind of works together, right?
You could draw a cloud. We could draw a cloud in there.
Yeah.
Kind of like that, right? There you go. See? You didn't have to demonstrate it. I knew what you were thinking.
Right.
All right. Now what we're going to do is we're going to draw two little circles and color them in. And a triangle. And look at there, we got a little penguin, and we'll kind of give him a little hair sticking up here, a little Marty action go. Yeah, the penguin who floats, Brenda. I love that.
Oh,
so good. Yeah.
So witty. You guys are so
very
quick.
good, very good.
Oh,
let's see. Okay, so then we'll put a couple little lines down here just to kind of show like
the sequel,
in water.
Is this the sequel?
Maybe it is.
Yeah.
The penguin who floats. Yeah. the time Marty gets stuck in a thing. All right, and then we'll draw. Here's what we'll do too. We'll draw a little square on the edge of the inner tube here, with a little line, and there's like the little blow up tube thing. And that's it, you guys. Now, the rest is just kind of fun coloring.
I'm just noticing, I saw this earlier, but Amy Allison's picture is so perfect for what we were talking about earlier.
Her Zoom, yeah.
Yeah.
She's got it as her.
Right.
That's great.
That looks like your spirit right there.
All right.
I mean,
Oops, let's just do
anybody,
that.
If anyone's not coloring and they want to show their pictures, they can, but don't feel like you have to interrupt your coloring. Oh, Marie, let's see. Aw, he looks cute. That's wonderful. Brenda, oh, there's a lot of dots on there. I like that. Helen, so cute. He looks so innocent. Angela, Walt, Dave, Rachel. Oh, Rachel, yours is really wide. I like that. I love how when you don't know what it is, right? It kind of takes its own personality.
Yeah, well, that's why I hesitate to call this Marty, because
it
people
might just be his cousin.
And you guys will see in the Penguin Who Flew book, there are a lot of other penguins, townspeople, naysayers, if you will. And that was one of my funnest things, was coming up with what are these other penguins look like, because there's not a lot going on with penguins the way I drew it, so
the Marty penguin is pretty simple.
He's pretty simple.
Some of these
So
other
that's
penguins are not.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're a lot more elaborate.
And that's one of my favorite things. Maybe if you remind me when we get to the end, Kim, I will show the proof of the end pages of the little sketches. I have a sketch of a bunch of different penguins that is actually in the end pages.
Nice.
We're just about done here. I'm gonna get myself my little cloud.
Don't forget, soon, very soon, we're going to be picking 3 winners, right?
Yes, we are.
For
Very soon.
This guy right there, who is so cute. Jason has this art as his home screen on his phone right now. So whenever he has his phone around, I'm like, oh, he's so cute. I love him. So cute.
All right, I'm having a little bit too much fun with this.
Yeah, you are. You're just in your own little world all of a sudden.
All right. Well, I guess we got a show to do. So let's move on. If anyone would love to share their drawings, especially if you get them all colored in, please send it to us at kj@escapeadulthood.com. What's that?
Jenna said she drew hers on the deck in a beer spill. The can.
Oh, well, there you go. It's a vacation,
#
Marty.
must be nice.
Yeah. It seems like, kind of a braggy way to talk about it, Jenna.
I'm just relaxed so much I spilled my beer on it.
All right. Well, I've got some fun news to share. We need some good news. Let's get some good news. All right, if you are one of those people, first of all, I love this meme, and I got to see if I can read it because it's so small.
It's so small.
Hammock. It's like a giant net for catching lazy people. That's from Jim Gaffigan. That's what a hammock is. So I thought that was appropriate for tonight. Yeah. I don't know if you are one of those people who complains about how terrible the news is. Then you really need to spend some time in the Escape Adulthood League, because we have a thing there called Adultitis Free News, and it is, I'll give some credit to the team, but mostly it's Rachel. Rachel has Jenna puts a big effort into it, but every day there is something that is up in the league under the category of Adultitis Free News that is just makes you smile. It's like the thing at the end of most newscasts, right? You watch the news and it's like
story.
29 minutes of death and destruction and your team lost and it's going to rain. And then at the end they have this feel-good story. Adultitis Free News and the Escape Adulthood League is all feel-good stories all the time. And I wanted to share a few of them just to give you an idea of some of the cool things. So we have grandma stands. I don't know if you've heard about that. This is started by Mike Matthews originally in 2012 with his actual grandma. He put a laptop with headphones on a stand in a public place so people could talk to her virtually and receive wisdom or advice. They continued this project for 6 years until she passed away in 2018. In her honor, Mike has brought back the grandma stand for anyone wanting a listening ear and lots of love. These pop up weekly around New York City and have questions the grandmas are asking you, or you can just chat with them. As one grandma states, that is what we all need, is someone to talk to and affirm that we are a person of value. We need more grandma stands, all right? I just like saying that word, by the way. It's like that's Pakistan, so cool. Afghanistan, grandma stand. No, it's grandma stand. Now, if you combine that with lemonade, no stopping it. No stopping it.
Right.
All right, here's another one that I thought was pretty funny. And this is going to be a real challenge for me to pronounce some of these names. But there was an unusual customer that stormed into a grocery store in Thailand. A very large animal known from the Kaho Yai National Park. This giant elephant, just full-grown male elephant covered in mud. He's known as Plai Biang Lek. So,
which means?
Don't know. That's just his name.
That's his name.
And he was being told to leave by the store owner. Yeah. So, excuse me. Hello. Could you please leave? Right. So the store owner reports the elephant had a taste for freshly bought food. Apparently, he ate items she had bought at the market that morning, including about 9 bags of sweet rice crackers, a sandwich, and some dried bananas. No one was hurt, and the elephant eventually backed out of the store, shoplifting some snacks in its trunk on the way out. And you definitely have to check this out because there's a video that goes with this one. So there's a reason to check out the Escape Adulthood League. What do you think about that, Kim?
That makes, I mean, I'm trying to think of what, like, if we have any equivalent to anything that rad here in Wisconsin. And the answer is no.
We need more elephants. That's,
I mean, a deer.
yeah,
I mean,
it's just not the same.
No, that is.
I would love to. Our daughter works at Culver's, and she does drive up sometimes. I would love an elephant to just, and then just like reach for like, get some cheese curds. So they're
trunk,
just
doing whatever it wants
and
to
then
do.
just like I just need some custard. All
Maybe
right,
you should
just need
just
some
draw
custard.
that cartoon. That would be fun.
That would be good. Okay, there's one more I wanted to share, and again, there's a lot of really good reels and videos, and it's just good stuff. You're doing a great job, Rachel. So, how about this one? T-Rex races. So there is a racetrack in Japan where over 500 people participated in dinosaur-themed race around the track wearing inflatable T-Rex costumes. This was actually inspired by the T-Rex World Championship races in Washington State. It's a thing. It's a fan favorite event, you think, that transforms the horse race track in the area to a prehistoric playground as participants don inflatable Tyrannosaurus Rex costumes and race to the finish line. Can you see that bottom photo of how many there are?
Oh my goodness.
Taking place annually
Looks like
at
naked people.
at Emerald Downs. This year's competition is in August 17th, 2025. So if you are in the, I'm trying to think where it is. I thought it was somewhere in Oregon, but I don't have that in front of me. No, Washington State, yeah. There's still time.
When is it happening?
It's August 17th. So there is still time
Steven,
to
you gotta get there.
participate in this.
You could be one of those, Steven, right?
I don't know what anybody is waiting for. We might need to do this in Sheboygan. We need to do something like this as part of the festival of shenanigans
we went to the 4th of July parade, and one of the highlights was somebody. It wasn't a T-Rex, but what were they in? It was like a blow-up costume. And
it was like a dude. It was like a big German dude with lederhosen, right? For the cheese place.
Yes.
Yeah.
This was the first year. They always throw out cheese, like from this cheese float. But this is the
There was
first
a
year
chant.
people chanted,
We want cheese. We want cheese. And they were throwing out cheese. And
we were like, I can't believe that this is for real. Like, we lived here for 4 years and we still can't believe it.
It's great.
And the cheese is delicious.
So anywho, if you feel like you're down on the news, and who wouldn't be, at any time, by the way, like it doesn't matter what year it is. I feel like the last 25 years, the news sucks. Go to the Escape Adulthood League. There's a whole category called Adultitis Free News, and just what's the opposite of doom scrolling? Joy scrolling.
Yeah.
That's what it is. It's joy scrolling. One awesome story after another. So kudos, hat tip to Rachel.
Her and Jenna are quite the partners in crime.
Yeah, they're doing that. Yeah. I know Jenna's contributing quite a bit of ideas. So I throw in a few once in a while. I'm like, oh, this would be good. But it's awesome. So make sure you're taking advantage of that. Okay, now it's time for a little sneak peek. Last 2 weeks, I've shown drawings in process videos of drawings from the Penguin Who Flew.
We have another drawing?
Here's another one.
I'm just smiling big at everybody. 2 more blocks and I'll be at your door. Overcome, brother, nothing keeps me melancholy. Spread my wings, so damn ready to soar. And there couldn't be a better taste. After everything I faced, I send a little luck my way. Send a little bright sun ray to hit my skin. A dream that I cannot erase. Keep it in a little case. Oh. Truth be told, 'cause I've never felt better. And if I'm honest with myself, I am so glad we're together, because this new state of mind that I've struggled to find can now be shared with you, because you showed me the light. In my head, deep inside of my mind, I love you in a way that has been hard to define. Let's go out, let's go dancing tonight. Adrenaline is pumping, engines up for the flight. And it couldn't be a better taste after everything I faced. I send a little luck my way, send a little bright sun ray to hit my skin. Dream that I cannot erase, keep it in a little case. Oh. Truth be told, is I've never felt better. And if I'm honest with myself, I am so glad we're together, because this new state of mind that I've struggled to find can now be shared with you, because you showed me the light. Truth be told, is I've never felt better. And if I'm honest with myself, I am so glad we're together, because this new state of mind that I've struggled to find can now be shared with you, because you showed me the light. Truth be told, is I've never felt better. And if I'm honest with myself, I am so glad we're together, because this new state of mind that I've struggled to find can now be shared with you, because you showed me the light.
Yay.
Marty's grandma. She was fun to draw.
I love when the pearls were like.
Yeah. Yeah, you get to the end, it's harder to see some of the details. Rachel asked a very good question. Can you remind us why you put red as the underneath layer of paintings? Yeah, so I do that in a lot of my oil paintings. I did it for a lot of these drawings too. It gives me something to work from versus just a white background. I don't like working from a white background. I like to have some color behind it, and then I choose different colors sometimes, but the red is one of my favorite ones, and it just brings a little bit more warmth. So if there's parts of the paint that aren't completely opaque, you'll see some of that warmth come through in the colors. So it's just...
But sometimes when you're using paint, isn't it more orange?
No, it's like a reddish.
Is
it's
it?
like a reddish,
Okay.
yeah. But sometimes I'll use yellow. Sometimes I'll use gray. It just depends on the painting, how much color I want like coming through. So it's, a lot of artists don't like to start from a white background. They just, I don't know. For some people, it's like intimidating of like, oh, it's the white piece of paper. Like for me, it's just like I like to have like a medium tone, and then I can bring the lights and the darks and work back and forth and stuff. So and a lot of times the red doesn't barely show through, but when I'm doing something digitally, I can really tell, because I'll have different layers, and if I take out that background red layer, you'll see that there's some opacity in there that it shows up in the end if you don't even realize it. So
I definitely think Amy Allison should get Marty's grandma's hair.
I want her hair, yeah.
Wonder Night. I want to see it,
There,
right?
there you go. There you go. All right, well, it's time for our big early bird raffle giveaway. Okay, so first thing, reminder about the summer playlist Best Summer Ever. Made possible with many, many suggestions from fellow Adultitis Fighters. If you're looking for something fun, some fun tunes, and I really like it because it's a great mix of many different genres and decades.
We figured that out last night when we listened.
So teaching some of the kids some of the 80s songs that came up, some other good classics in there. So check that out. But fun little fact. Kim is circulating all of these little.
There's a lot here.
There's
This is
a
kind
lot of
exciting, guys.
Oh, geez, one fell out.
Okay, get back.
Every one of those little slips of paper represents a book that has been pre-ordered already. So there's a lot of in there, and I had 2 helpers for this.
Not me.
The first helper was ChatGPT. Because I was like, I kind of want to cut these out in paper, but I really don't want to make a spreadsheet. So I basically downloaded our spreadsheet of orders, and I uploaded it to ChatGPT, and I said, I don't know how I said it, like, I need to cut these out into pieces of paper. I want 5 columns with 20 names in each one, and I want a name for every book that a person bought. Like, however I worded it, it took me like 3 minutes to write the prompt. And then, this is another trick I learned, is then you ask ChatGPT, do you understand me? And then it says, yes, your instructions are very clear. Why, thank you, ChatGPT. And then it basically repeats my instructions in a different way, and I'm like, yeah, that's totally what I want. Go do that. And then it did it, and then it downloaded. I'm like, this is amazing. So it gave me all these sheets that had all these things. And I was like, well, now...
So for people who bought 25 books, we didn't have to type their name
25 times. Yeah. And so then I'm like, well, but now I really don't want to cut these out.
No.
So then ChatGPT is not able to cut out things for you, but your 11-year-old daughter is more than happy to cut out little pieces of paper. So thank you to Ginny for cutting out. And then she's like, do you want me to fold them in half? I'm like, yes, I do, Ginny GPT.
Yeah.
So there you go. So we're going to be picking 3 winners randomly.
Yep.
Each winner will receive the stuffed Marty pillow that I'm still very much in love with.
We're not giving this one away.
No, that one's ours. That one's ours. But you can, anyone who pre-orders the Air Force package, which is 25 books. So if you have a lot of grandkids, or if you know an early childhood center, or you just want to bring more joy to the world, you can still get one of those pillows. But 3 people will get this pillow and
they'll also get
$20 gift certificate to the lemonade
stand.
$20
gift card and a pillow, and we get 3. Do you have a drum roll or anything? Or you guys want to
just
do the drum roll? Nope, that's not a drum roll.
How about this?
That's what I'm talking about.
Steven's doing it with his fingers. All right, you get to do it. Here we go.
I'll do one. Okay.
The first winner is
Tracy Miller.
Ooh,
Tracy Miller.
She's not here tonight.
She's not on tonight, but she's a regular watcher,
yes,
so she'll be excited about that.
That's exciting. She'll probably bring it to her classroom. Nice.
Make sure I just get one here. Oh, look at this. Dorothy Vesperman.
Oh, Dorothy.
Dorothy is here tonight. How about that reaction?
There's a lot of sheets in there, Dorothy.
That's awesome.
Oh, man.
I'm gonna have to go to the recording and screenshot that reaction later. That was awesome.
We captured your spirit.
Yeah, it was good. Okay, we got one more. We got Tracy Miller, Dorothy Vesperman, and before I do this, we can't have double winners, right? Just in case.
No double winners. Yeah.
Just in case I don't like I'm a jerk.
Yeah.
Mike Gillard. Mike Gillard is the third winner. So he is not on tonight as either, but we will email him. So we'll email all of you guys to find out where you want us to send your little pillow. But congratulations and thank you to everyone who
I'm so glad you were here for that, Dorothy. That was
great.
Awesome. That was so good. Yay.
Yeah, I think that was pretty. That's pretty much.
It was a lot of work for that, but that made it very fair. So I'm glad you did the work on
it. And it's more dramatic to have pieces of paper.
Yeah.
And it's like legit. It's like not just me like, hey, Dorothy won. Like, how do we know? Because
we pulled it out.
There you go, right
in
here.
Front of you.
In case you're curious.
Oh, look at how tiny it was.
Is it even? You're gonna have to take my word for it, maybe. We'll take a picture of the 3 winners here. ChatGPT made these very small.
I know.
But it followed directions, so I can only blame myself.
Jason has talent stacked this, you guys. So he talks in Must Be Nice, the book about, being able to stack up your talents. That has been something he has taught himself how to use AI really well. And it is proving to be a really good skill. So
it's been pretty
fun.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it hasn't killed me yet, so we'll see. All right, you guys, thank you for being here. We've got one more show next week. You're going to want to not miss that one. It's going to be a really good one. This one was subpar.
Yeah, that one will be better.
So much better. That is it for this show, though. Until next time, Adultitis Fighters.
Yes, shine on, spread whimsy, and keep being awesome.
Thank you so much.